All right, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutation to the elect. My name is Ainal. The title of this video is Israel and USA going to war in Syria, right? And that's exactly what they're doing. So, going over here, I have a YouTube page pulled up. It's called Business Basics, and he's going over basically what's happening in Israel. So I got here a post from Donald Trump that he has on his video. It says, opposition fighters in Syria, in an unprecedented move, have totally taken over numerous cities in a highly coordinated offensive and are now on the outskirts of Damascus, obviously preparing to make a very big move toward taking out Assad. Russia, because they are so tied up in Ukraine and with the loss of their of over 600,000 soldiers, seems incapable of stopping this literal march through Syria, a country they have protected for years. Says this is where former President Obama refused to honor his commitment of protecting the red line in the sand, and all hell broke out with Russia stepping in. But now they are like possibly Assad himself being forced out, and it may actually be the best thing that can happen to them. There was never much of a benefit in Syria for Russia other than to make Obama look really stupid. In any event, Syria is a mess, but it's not our friend, and the United States should have nothing to do with it, and this is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved. And, the times that we're living in is really great because we're seeing Esau Edom move with great wrath because he have a short time, right? His plans, are slowly, coming together, and we're seeing that play out. Everyone's, we all see what's happening. So this is Revelation 12 and 12. And to me, it's just interesting to watch how he's moving toward as we, push towards the end. This is Revelation 12 and 12. It says, "The devil." It says Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And they just like Donald Trump just explained, this coordinated attack, they took over Syria in like a week from the attack. Here's a video. Let me see. There you go. This is Benjamin Netanyahu.
More in today's video. Like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously when covering war-related topics. Let's begin. First and foremost, for all of you guys who love seeing maps as much as me, here's a cool animation map of how things played out in Syria in the last 11 days. How the situation just flipped 180 degrees. Now, one of the biggest who loves seeing...
All right, so we'll watch that again. So you watch the map and see how they just... And I did a video before, and it's like a military base here. This is America occupied areas here. It's probably some American shit over here too. You got, what's set up here. And so let's click on that.
Maps as much as me.
Here's a cool animation map of how things played out in Syria in the last 11 days. How the situation just flipped 180 degrees. Now, one of the biggest...
All right, so basically this dude is the president. He left out. But basically, we're seeing in real time the devil make his move, just like we always have been. It's just, I don't know. For me, it's interesting because we're at the end. We're at the end and we're watching how he's moving. And basically going back to this Donald Trump, because they're two-tongue speaking. Now you have here, it says opposition, and I'll make it bigger here. It says opposition fighters in Syria in an unprecedented move have totally taken out numerous cities. It says in a highly coordinated offensive and are now on the outskirts of Damascus, obviously preparing to make a very big move toward taking out Assad. Russia, because they are so tied up in Ukraine and with the loss there of of over 600,000 soldiers seems incapable of stopping this literal march through Syria, a country that have protected for years. A country they have protected for years. This is where former President Obama refused to honor his commitment of protecting the red line and the sand, and all hell broke out. And I mean, this is shots fired too, also because in one of my previous videos, which let me see if I can find that. Let me go over here. Let me see. Atlas. All right, so I believe this was it. So this guy is saying U.S. proxy war with Russia and Ukraine extends to Syria.
Today is December.
I don't remember if this was the one I watched. Let me see. Nope. He also has a map here. All right, let me go back to the one I see.
The armed violence.
Yeah, I didn't know which one it was because I have multiple. I watched it on different areas anyway. So this is the plan of the banking elites. You know the likes of like the Rothschild and the rest of the banking elites, like the banking families that run the world. It says geopolitical measures. It says provide lethal aid to Ukraine. Just in the news, there's like another $50 billion Ukraine aid package being sent over to Ukraine. And that's what I want to get into also, because we have, like I said, pretty much Revelation 13:11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And this next beast coming up is Babylon the Great, right? America, the Roman Empire rebirth, which is they were rebirthed during the Renaissance period, right? And they have, a Senate and everything, but they have, basically you can vote for presidents, right? A lower class party and upper class party, like the Roman Empire had, right? Let me grab it real quick. I think it was like Patricians and Pelagians, you know? This is Revelations 13. Let me grab it. Yeah, so Patricians and Pelagians, and that's something you can look up, and they have the same thing now. So just like the Roman Empire, you had an upper class and a lower class, and right now that's kind of like the Republic and the Democrats. So basically, this is how they had two horns, but they spoke as a lamb. But as like they had two horns like a lamb and speak as a dragon, so they give you the option like, oh, you can go the easy way, the hard way, pretty much, or something like that. But ultimately, they're the devil, right? They're Satan, right? They're Esau. Job 9:24 says the earth was given into the hand of the wicked, and these people are currently ruling. So that's pretty much where I'm going at with this video. So anyway, where I was at. So these are plans of the banking elites, that work out of America. It says provide lethal aid to provide lethal aid to Ukraine, increase support to the Syrian rebels. So let me back up a little bit so you can hear this.
That appears to be what has finally happened. Now this brings us to the United States' larger global strategy. It is to overextend not just Syria, not to hollow out and collapse Syria, but this was part of a wider strategy to overextend and collapse the Russian Federation. This all goes back to this 2019 paper published by the RAND Corporation literally titled Extending Russia, Competing for Advantageous Ground. And if you look at the table of contents, it spells it out very clearly where the United States was going to light geopolitical fires, force Russia to invest, and hopefully overextend it, precipitating a Soviet Union-style collapse. Measure 1, provide lethal aid to Ukraine. And you can see where this has led Russia in terms of its special military operation, now spanning 3 years.
So, this is all the works of preparing for war. Just like we always say, the sides are being picked, things are being aligned, and they're preparing themselves. I did a video going back into which, matter of fact, I probably could look at that, because now you have Taiwan, and China doing what they're doing, showing their power with their war games. But we also have these World War II islands being rebuilt by America over there, right? So you can see all sides are doing things to prepare for this war.
Measure 2, increase support to the Syrian rebels. Measure 3, promote regime change in Belarus. Measure 4, exploit tensions in the South Caucasus, where the U.S. is right now backing violent protesters trying to overthrow the government of Georgia. Measure 5, reduce Russian influence in Central Asia. Measure 6, challenge Russian presence in Moldova.
All right, so World War III is soon to come, and that's the scriptures. Let me grab that. Says verse 6, challenge Russia. It says Revelations 11 and 14, the second war is past, and behold, the third war coming quickly. And that's what we're, witnessing. But, this is the talks, and we know that the MOTB has to come before that. Jacob's trouble has to come before that. Civil wars and, upwards of the people here in Babylon the Great. But these are the plans that was laid out in this 2019 script here, basically, because everything is a script with these banking elites. They plan things out and then they go out and do it. And that's why they put things in movies, because it's like they show you what they're going to do before they do it, pretty much, right? So that's the point with this. Now, so it says increase support to the Syrian rebels. So that's pretty much what they did. Now going back to where I was at with it.
Things are still moving very.
So it says, so that shots at Russia. It says Russia because they are so tied up in Ukraine. So this is a president-elect that's about to become president, and he's a part of America. It says Russia because they are so tied up in Ukraine, and with the loss there of over 600,000 soldiers, seems incapable of stopping this literal march through Syria. So which is something they're most likely proud about, of course, right? It says a country they have protected for years. This is where former President Obama refused to honor his commitment of protecting the red line and the sand, and all hell broke loose with Russia stepping in. So now he said, you can see this is almost like the two horns as a lamb too, but they spoke as a dragon, because he kind of said all this, and then now he's trying to big them up, as in, soften them up, but ultimately war will, come. It says this is where former President Obama refused to honor his commitment of protecting the red line in the sand, and all hell broke out with Russia stepping in. But now they are, like possibly Assad himself, being forced out, and it may actually be the best thing that can happen to them. There was never much of a benefit in Syria for Russia, other than to make Obama look really stupid. And in the event, Syria is a mess, but it's not our friend. And I mean, for Russia, it was a strategic point. In case of war, they had a military naval base there. They had military bases there, So this guy saying that doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it says there was never much of a benefit in Syria for Russia, other than to make Obama look really stupid. In any event, Syria is a mess, but it's not our friend. I mean, Syria is a mess now, right? It says, and the United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight. Let it play out. Do not get involved. So America got involved heavily by bombing and attacking, and of course Israel moving in, and Israel saying that they They needed to go in because reasons, right? Just because they felt unsafe, right? So that's pretty much the point with that. Let me see. Well, let me see what Donald Trump said.
Trump war against Israel. That was a historic mistake on Iran's part. Today, Iran's main territorial proxy, the United States, will work with our partners and the stakeholders in Syria to help them seize an opportunity to manage the risk. You know, for years, the main backers of Assad have been Iran, Hezbollah, and Russia. But over the last week, their support collapsed, all three of them. Because all three of them are far weaker today than they were when I took office. And let's remember why. After Hamas attacked Israel on October the 7th, 2023, when much of the world responded with horror, Iran and its proxies chose to launch a multi-front war against Israel. That was a historic mistake on Iran's part. Today, Iran's main territorial proxy, Hezbollah, is also on its back. Only 12 days ago, I spoke from the Rose Garden about the ceasefire deal in Lebanon. The deal was only possible because Hezbollah has been badly degraded. Meanwhile, Hamas has been badly degraded as well. Iran's own military capabilities have been weakened. Iran tried 2 times to attack Israel. The United States built a coalition of countries to directly defend Israel and help defeat those attacks. All this made possible for Iran and Hezbollah to continue to prop up. All
right, so you can watch this video you want. We can see exactly what's happening. It says the beast from the earth, Revelations 13:11, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, right? And that's pretty much the point. He spake as a dragon. Let me grab this in the NLT. It says, then I saw another beast come up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb, but he spoke with the voice of a dragon, right? And that's just going into his basically draconian measures and things that he's going to issue out. But even Psalms 55, which I have, in Daniel, this is Psalms 55:20. It says, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant, right? And that's going into his different allies and treaties that he has made around the world, and what he's doing currently now. He has made ties with different individuals and have did acts to kind of break those ties or have his allies to be affected in the moves that he makes. Talking about Babylon the Great, right? It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but woe was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's the point. So, you can grab that with what was going on today, as in not trusting this man, seeing how he's moving around and what he's doing. This is a perfect example for us to look and watch. If you may still, you still may try to trust this devil, just not to trust him and see how he's moving. So, let me grab this. It's Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith. Right? So basically, let me read this again. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, which is how they're doing, and how Donald Trump, is saying in his message. And when they come down with that great wrath upon us, these are things that how they're moving, how we should look at. If you trust in his enemy, which you shouldn't be doing. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, right? So you wiping something, mirror, whatever the case may be, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So basically, this man is not clean. He's wicked, still evil. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. Right. And, this goes to same for all, and we're seeing that now playing out as Esau is rolling on, his enemies, the other nations and things. But he's rolling on the Israelites too, and he's about to come down with great wrath even more. So as we're watching this and seeing it unfold, we can see that he's a devil and how he is acting. It says, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Now to let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So right now the nations are upset and mad pretty much of how they've been so close to, America, and America has bamboozled them, right? Because this man is wicked. So, and that's basically going into that Nord Stream pipeline, which has come out to say that, America did it, and now they're trying to make their own pipeline over there. But at the same time, them breaking that pipeline caused problems, over there and with their allies. So this is Isaiah 30:1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh, Basmi Awashai, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Right, and that's trusting in Babylon. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's exactly what is happening now to a lot of people, even Donald Trump. People voted for him and the things that he were talking about, because they didn't want war. And we're still waiting to see if that guy even gets in office, right? Because everything is played out to the least plan. Some things slip in there or go in there because the Most High Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai does that. But for the most part, it's been proven that these individuals plan everything out and then they act on it. Like I said, they put it in the movies, they show you, and then they do it. So, that's what's happening. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's pretty much what's happening now with these nations. And like I was saying, people voted for Donald Trump not to go to war, but his whole cabinet is pro-Israeli individuals. Right, and Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, is showing no signs of not stopping the war path, right? And that's pretty much the point. I'll jump down, or I'll just continue. It says, I'll read this again, Isaiah 30:1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh, Bashmi Awashai, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. For his princes were at Zon, and his ambassadors came to Hanes. They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help nor profit, but a shame and also reproach. So it's further explaining the fact that, Esau, Edom can't help us. It says, the burden of the beasts of the south into the land of trouble and anguish, from whence came the young and the old lion, the viper and the fire serpent. They will carry their riches upon the shoulders of young asses, and their treasures upon the bunches of camels, to a people that shall not profit them. And I believe that's going into 32, it explains it further about them taking their riches and things like that over to the land. Even in the history, what it was like, I believe it was First Maccabees. They wanted to make a covenant basically with the people, the heathen around them. Well, I'm basically explaining it. In the book of First Maccabees, our people wanted to, go to the heathen that were around them and try to, just be like them and make a covenant with them, and seek help from them, right? And not from the Lord. It says, for the Egyptians shall help in vain and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this, their strength is to sit still, right? And the scriptures in Zephaniah, 3 and 8, says, wait ye upon the Lord. Grab that. Because Esau's moving quickly. Things are rapidly unfolding. Zephaniah 3 and 8, it says, therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh Basmi Al-Shai, unto the day that I rise up to the prey, For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. So that's the point, you know. It says, 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. And that's pretty much what we're, like I said, we're watching how he's moving and the things that he's doing, right? And we have this in the NLT. It says, NLT, so that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. How he moves, you know, how he comes in, crouching, humbling, talking. You know, people have been lied to with these presidents for years. I think they always talk about, what is it, the debt relief for college and stuff, you know, and our people vote for these individuals to try to get that. And from what I've seen, it never happened, you know. So at least Satan should get advantage of us. We're not ignorant of his devices, right? And just point to the fact that, you know, we're witnessing exactly how he's moving, you know, and you should be thinking about these things because, you know, the scriptures say that days are evil, which I will get. This is Psalm 64:1. It says, hear my voice, O power, and my prayer, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. We get this in NLT. It says, they sharpen their tongues like swords and aim their bitter words like an arrow, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. And you know, they do that a lot, again, with their policies, right? Their draconian measures that they're going to eventually come down with, right? And then, like, just them setting things up, right? They have laws, you know, or the people, even over in the land of Syria, regarding what? Militant groups, you know, so they make laws and say, well, we have to go in and help. You know, they set things up. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? And I mean, pretty much this has been one big snare. You look at the video, you be the judge of what you see, pretty much. It says they search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. You know, so that goes into that, also that crafty counsel. You know, they search out iniquities. They accomplished a diligent search. Let me get this in the NLT. It says, as they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised a perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and the mind are cunning. Right. So, you know, like I said, that crafty counsel they took against our people, just, you know, hiding information from us. But the Most High brought information out. So, and once again, like I said, this is like one big snare. It says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. So, you know, this is like one big plan that they have, you know, basically did. So you can think about basically Jacob's trouble and the things to come, you know, and that's all we need, the Lord. So it says, Psalm 64:1, it says, hear my voice, O Yahweh, watch me outside in my prayer, preserve my life from the fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the works of iniquity. So we can see like how deep, you know, in the NLT it sounds better. Get it? It says, as they plot their crimes, they say, we have devised the perfect plan. Yes, the human heart and the mind are cunning. So, you know, we're to do the things that they're doing, to set these things up, to have it in their documents, you know, and say, oh, this is our plan, and then they go out to do it. Obviously, you know, you can see that. And you think about it, right? So we need the Lord, because they do have plans against the Lord's elect, and the scriptures go into that. So it says Ephesians 5, and we'll start at 14. It says, wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepeth, and arise from the dead, and Yahushua shall give thee light. And that's exactly what happened. We were called into this truth. We were in a dead state, and we have been awoken, you know, here in these last days. And we have that light now, which is the knowledge and understanding to survive, right? It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Let me see this in NLT. It says, so be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. right? So you just have to know exactly what you're involved in and see what's going on around you, right? What time we're in. There's a time for everything, as the scriptures say. It says redeeming the time because the days are evil, and that's exactly what's happening. So let me see. Lord willing, this video has been edifying. I'll say shalom to the elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.